Low-key, I think this is kind of big news. The Chargers reunite with Keenan Allen on a one-year deal worth $8.5 million. Now, I know a lot of people might take a look at this article and then quickly keep scrolling, but I think this is kind of a big move just because the Chargers have a wide receiver problem, and that was very evident a year ago, and they didn't really do anything to address that issue in this year's draft. So to add a guy like Keenan Allen back in LA, I just think it's a grade A move. I still think he has a lot left in the tank in his career. Last year in Chicago, he didn't really get a lot of opportunities to thrive, but when Caleb did throw him the ball, he still looked pretty fresh out there, man. So Chargers fans, talk to me. Are you happy to see Keenan Allen return to the LA Chargers? Let me know in the comments below. And it's not like Keenan Allen is a super old player. He's only 33 years old. So it's not like he's like 38, 37. And this was expected too. Early on in the offseason, Keenan stated that he's only going to play for Chicago or go back to LA, whether that be the Chargers or the Rams. And after the Rams signed Devontae Adams, that landing spot seemed pretty unlikely. Plus, what Chicago did in this year's draft, drafting Luther, and even what they did in last year's draft as well, when they drafted Rome Odunze. The plan was for Keenan Allen to always be a one-year sort of rental guy. And just unfortunately, Chicago kind of fell apart there halfway through the season. And it was just kind of a waste, but it is what it is. So as of today, the Chargers wide receiver looks like Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, and their recent draft picks, Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith. We'll see if those two guys can emerge as anything, but I really wouldn't hold my breath on them. Obviously, Ladd McConkey was a breakout player a year ago. The dude was a monster. We'll see if he'll continue to progress as a wide receiver. Now, I feel like the real question here is Quentin Johnson. After having a terrible first year in the NFL, where everyone was calling him a bust, and he really did look the part. He did rebound a little bit in year two, but I still feel like he's not at that level that the Chargers want him to be. So if hypothetically he can continue to progress and be like a solid 3 wide receiver, and they have Keenan Allen and they have Ladd McConkey, who knows, man. The Chargers wide receiver room should significantly be better, but I feel like that's a big if because, I don't know, I don't really trust Quentin Johnson like that. And even though I'm pro on Keenan Allen, he's still not the youngest guy ever. Plus, he has a pretty rich injury history, so you kind of got to be aware of that, and I'm sure every Chargers fan is. So we'll see how it all goes down, man. But overall, I do like this move a lot from LA. Let me know if you agree with me or not. Other wide receiver news that just dropped: Jordan Addison has been suspended for 3 games over his DUI case. So if you're heavy into sports betting, I feel like that definitely should move the line just a tiny bit when the Vikings have their season opener against Chicago on the road, Monday Night Football. I know that may sound a little bit like an overreaction, but I'm telling you, man, Jordan Addison, in my opinion, is a pretty elite wide receiver. Obviously, he gets overshadowed by Justin Jefferson, which he should. You know, he's one of the best wide receivers we've seen in a hot minute. But I'm telling you, Jordan is just the perfect number 2 for Justin Jefferson, and every time I watch the Vikings play, that dude is making consistent plays. Sure, he's not putting up 10 catches, 8 catches per game like Justin Jefferson, but he has big play ability, and especially when you're essentially a rookie quarterback like J.J. McCarthy, I feel like you need all the help you can get, especially, when defenses are preparing for him, especially early on. They're going to take away JJ's safety blankets, Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson. So no Addison for the first 3 weeks. Maybe it'll make JJ McCarthy's start to his NFL career just a little bit harder for sure, because having him and Justin Jefferson, it just makes life for any QB easy. And without him for the first 3 games in Chicago, Atlanta, and Cincinnati, behind Justin Jefferson are Jalen Naylor, rookie Tay Felton, and new receiver to the Vikings, Rondale Moore. So definitely a steep drop-off after Jefferson and Addison, which is expected. So we'll have to keep an eye on if any of those guys step up. And just overall, man, I feel like the Vikings are going to be a very fascinating team to watch, not only because of the whole J.J. McCarthy storyline, can Kevin O'Connell do it again, but also they invested a lot of money into the trenches of that team, spent a lot of money in free agency on that D-line and that O-line, and I'm almost really curious to see what that run game looks like, because they did boost up that O-line, and they did acquire Jordan Mason, which I'm a big fan of his game, ex-49er RB. Dude just loves to hit the hole. I think he's a big-time playmaker. Plus, you have everyone's favorite Aaron Jones, has always been a dynamic RB. So expect their run game to be greatly improved, man. Now, one last piece of news. Rams RB Kyren Williams agreed to a 3-year extension worth $33 million with $23 million in guaranteed money. I love this move for both parties. And, Kyren wanted a new contract for the past couple of months. And instead of holding out like James Cook or being kind of like a man-child about it, he showed up to training camp every single day. He didn't say a word about it, like a true professional. Because at the end of the day, man, these guys signed a contract. And when you sign a contract, you kind of got to do whatever you got to do, right? You got to be a professional. And at the end of the day, all these dudes are making millions of dollars. So, I tip my cap to Kyren, a true professional, and he got rewarded like one. I swear, last couple of years, dude is just a touchdown machine. Definitely one of my favorite players on the Rams to watch. So, let me know if you like that contract extension. He's only 24 years old, and annually it's an $11 million deal. So, James Cook, take notes, man. You are not getting 15 to 19 mil or whatever the hell you want. I'm sorry. I feel like most GMs would rather have Kyren than James Cook. I know I definitely would, but that's just me. So yeah, man, let me know what you think about Kyren Williams, Keenan Allen, Jordan Addison, and everything else in between. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.